Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you how to knit a really simple and very even heel, super fast. As you can see, it really has no holes, is super nice and even, and is also perfect for beginners. I used the Soft Flex color yarn from Starkwalla because I'm knitting summery sports socks with it, and it's super stretchy and nice. And a matching set of double-pointed needles in size 2.5. I'll show you the link to the yarn shop on screen, and now I'll show you how to do the heel. You start your heel again with the first needle. And you're going to use your fourth needle to knit the first needle. Still in pattern, which in my case means knit 1 TBL, purl 1. From then on, starting with the next row, your heel flap begins. And now you just turn. Your work. So the second and third needle are resting now, and we're going to knit the heel flap upwards, which is really easy. We're now just going to purl a row of all stitches, including the first and the last stitch. One row of purl stitches. After the first row, turn your work over again and now knit the stitches as they appear, meaning a row of just knit stitches, so we get a heel flap in stockinette stitch here. Knitted. This means you start and end with a knit stitch, knitting all the stitches. You'll just keep repeating this for as many stitches as you have on these two needles. So in my case 12 rows, meaning 6 purl rows and 6 knit rows after that. We'll start with the decrease rounds and I'll show you how those work in just a moment, but until then have fun knitting. Your work should look something like this now, and in the next step, the decrease rounds begin. It's really simple, you always decrease on the left side. You knit the first two and the last two stitches together to start your decrease round. Knitting together, don't purl the first stitch normally, but instead you insert your needle through both the first and second stitch, and then purl them together as one. This way you've turned 2 purl stitches into 1 purl stitch. Knit the rest of the row completely normally, purling your stitches as they appear. And then you purl the last 2 stitches together again. You purl the last 2 stitches together again, which means you bring the yarn to the front of the needle, insert it through both stitches. Grab the yarn and purl both stitches together. After that, you turn your work around and knit the knit round without any decreases, meaning on the purl round, always the first. Knit first 2 and last 2 together, then a knit round without decreases like this. Long until you have the same number of stitches on all 3 needles, which in my case is 12. Have fun until then. Your heel flap should look like this now, and we're going to start picking up stitches on both sides. This means you take your knitting needle and insert it right here into the first stitch. With it simply because it gives you a nice tight heel without any holes. Now go. Always into every second stitch from bottom to top and pick up your stitches, meaning not here. Into that one stitch, but always one stitch further along from bottom to top. Do this all the way along the row. Now just knit the stitches you've picked up as normal. Don't worry if these are a bit tighter. That's actually a good thing, because it gives you a nice tight, even heel without any holes in it. It looks like this. You can see it's really nice and even, with no holes or anything, and very, very easy to knit. Now you just knit the second and third needles, which were the ones we put on hold exactly as they appear. Since I'm continuing my pattern for my summer socks, it means I'll now alternate knitting one purl stitch and one twisted knit stitch. Knit. To knit through the back loop, you don't insert your needle into the front like for a knit stitch, but into the back. Behind the needle, grab your yarn, pull it through, and you have a twisted knit stitch. Purl, knit through the back loop. You'll do this for the second and third needle, and after that we'll pick up stitches again. Once you've knitted the second and third needles, you'll cast on again. Stitches, starting right here in between, and then insert your needle from bottom to top again to cast on. One stitch every second round. Just like you did before. Here too, you just knit all the stitches. Now you'll need a sixth needle. In my double-pointed needle set, there are always 6 needles included, otherwise you just need a knitting needle of the same size. Knit all stitches, and like I said, don't be surprised if they're a bit tight. That's actually the whole point. So, now you basically have your heel flap. Here's your heel again, nice and close, nice and even. You have one needle too many now, and we're going to divide these 12 stitches from our heel flap simply onto the fourth and the first needle, which means now with your current fourth needle, you knit the first 6 stitches. And then we switch needles. 4, 5, and 6, and now you have one side of your heel here. Switch needles. Then knit the next 6 stitches now. And just keep knitting your first needle here, all knit stitches. And just like that, you have your normal set of double-pointed needles again, with stitches on 4 needles and a working needle to knit with. So now you just knit the first round. Your decrease round. For the heel, and in this first round on the first needle, we knit. We knit 2 stitches together, which means we decrease by 1 stitch. Knit 2 together equals purl 2 together. You knit just like a knit stitch, only instead of inserting your needle into the first stitch, you go into the second one first. Then through both stitches, grab the yarn. Knit it like a knit stitch, and just like that, you've turned 2 stitches into 1. For needles 2 and 3, you just knit normally, which in my case means using the twisted stitch pattern. Knit stitches, and I'll show you how to do the third needle in just a moment. You knit the third needle pretty much just like the first, only this time we don't knit the last 2 stitches together, but simply the first 2, so that the work here then sits together nicely. This means you don't knit into the first stitch again, but into the second, knitting it like a knit stitch, except that you still have 2 stitches. Slip through, pull the yarn through, and you've turned 2 knit stitches into 1 knit stitch. For the rest of the row, you knit all the stitches. The second round is very simple. There you knit. You just knit all the stitches as they appear, without any decreases, which means you decrease every second round on the first needle, right here. Stitches, and you decrease one by knitting the last 2 stitches together, and on the 4th needle, you knit the first 2 stitches together. Then another round without decreases, and you keep doing this until you have on each needle. Have the same number of stitches, in my case 12, and then you're already done with your heel. Until then, relax and have fun knitting. And just like that, your heel is all knitted. As you can see, there are no holes, it's beautifully even, and it's also great for beginners if you liked my video. I'd really appreciate it if you subscribed for free, that way you won't miss any of my new videos. Until then, I hope you keep having fun with your knitting.